Welcome everyone. Retrograde planets or Vakri Grahas in a birth chart in Vedic astrology. If in a birth chart R or Hindi letter V is mentioned with a planet, it means it is retrograde in the birth chart. For example, if Mercury is retrograde in a birth chart, suppose Mercury is retrograde in 10th house, then it will be mentioned like this: Mercury R or Budh V. Or suppose Mercury is retrograde in 6th house, then it will be mentioned like this. If Venus is retrograde in the birth chart, suppose in 5th house, then it will be mentioned as. First question is, what are the retrograde planets in a birth chart? Sanskrit word Vakra means twisted or curved or ambiguous, unusual path. Retrograde planet does not mean malefic or afflicted planet. Retrogression makes the planet unconventional. We all know in Vedic astrology, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn move in zodiac in anti-clockwise direction. Since this is the usual standard path followed by these planets, so when they move in anti-clockwise direction in the zodiac, they are called direct or marquee. So anti-clockwise motion of these 7 planets is known as direct motion. Also we know Rahu or Ketu, the 2 shadow planets, always move in the zodiac in clockwise direction, that is in reverse direction. These 7 planets move in anti-clockwise direction and Rahu Ketu move in clockwise direction. Because Rahu Ketu always move Vakri or retrograde in the birth chart, so it is never mentioned in the birth chart that Rahu and Ketu are retrograde or Vakri. It is their usual path, so no cause of concern. Now out of the 7 planets, Sun and Moon, the 2 luminaries, are always direct. They are never retrograde. Sun represents soul and Moon represents mind, subconsciousness. In Vedic astrology, Sun is the king and Moon is the queen among these 7 planets. They can never be retrograde. So we have to study about the retrograde motion of remaining 5 planets: Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus and Saturn. When a planet appears to move backward in the sky from our earthly viewpoint, it is referred as retrograde planet or Vakri Grah. Pay attention, retrograde planets appear to move backward. So retrogression is actually illusion. This happens because Earth and other planets orbit the Sun at different speeds. Moving in its orbit, when a planet is close to Earth, it appears to slow down and move backward temporarily. You must have experienced this phenomena during a train journey. When a faster train overtakes a slow moving train and person sitting in faster train looks at slower train, he or she will briefly feel slower train is moving backward. And if you are sitting in the slower train and look at faster train, you will feel for few moments your train is moving backward. This is not actually happening. This is only illusion, and this illusion is created because of principle of relative velocity. The 2 trains are moving in the same direction with different speeds and they are close to each other. So the same principle is applied to planets moving in their orbit at different speeds. So when any of Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus or Saturn is near to Earth, it appears moving backward temporarily, and that is retrograde motion of these planets. Children born during the period of retrogression of a planet have that planet as retrograde in their birth chart. A person can have 1 or more planets retrograde in the birth chart. In ancient Vedic astrology texts, retrograde planets are not considered same as direct planets. Our great rishis felt that behavior of a planet changes in retrogression. So different type of interpretation and analysis is required for retrograde planets in the birth chart. Now listen carefully and understand the behavior of retrograde planet or Vakri Grah in the birth chart. A direct planet acts in a straightforward way. If Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus or Saturn are margi, that is direct, in the birth chart, we can read their results in a normal way as we have studied so far. But if any of these, Mars or Mercury or Jupiter or Venus or Saturn is retrograde in the birth chart, its behavior will change. First, retrograde planet may cause delay. Why? Because in retrograde motion, planet appears to be moving slow. So this is the general nature of a retrograde planet to cause delay in giving results. Second, retrograde planet may give unusual and sometimes reversed results because during retrogression planet appears to be moving backward, so it becomes unconventional, uncertain and even volatile in some cases. Therefore, retrograde planets never behave like direct planets. They carry uncertainty, challenges, instability, depth, suddenness. Third and most important, retrograde planet becomes very strong. You can say exceptionally strong because it gains chesta bal. Chesta means effort. So retrograde planet provides more willpower, more strength to fight against odds and helps to get results even if delayed. We have discussed this in Shadbal, that a planet gets chesta bal due to its retrograde motion. Why it gets chesta bal? During retrograde motion, planet is near to Earth. So during that time period, it can show its full impact on Earth. So when any of Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus or Saturn turn retrograde, it becomes exceptionally strong and can show its full impact on Earth. Therefore, in Vedic astrology, a retrograde planet or Vakri Grah in the birth chart is considered exceptionally strong because of this chesta bal, and it can deliver unexpected, sudden results. It may cause delay, reversals, and many times transformative, life-changing outcomes. Person may experience sudden success, fame, recognition after a period of intense struggle and delay. Now it is obvious that a Vakri Grah or retrograde planet becomes exceptionally powerful. Now what happens when a planet is exalted, that is in its Uch Rashi, or debilitated, that is in its Neech Rashi, and is also retrograde? According to ancient Vedic astrology texts, if a planet is debilitated in the birth chart and it is also retrograde, it should be considered exalted. Retrogression can make a debilitated planet act like exalted planet. We know exaltation is the highest point of power of a planet and debilitation is the lowest point. So when planet becomes retrograde, it gets too much power. Even in debilitation, it behaves like an exalted planet. And if a planet is already exalted in the birth chart and it is also retrograde, then it becomes super strong, already have maximum power, and retrogression gives more and more power, and in such a situation the planet may become uncontrollable and it can start behaving like a debilitated planet. So according to ancient Vedic astrology texts, when exalted planet is retrograde in the birth chart, it should be treated as debilitated. We are all familiar with the old saying, excess of everything is bad. Ravan is the biggest example of this excess in Indian mythology. His excessive power was the cause of his destruction. Because of exceptional supernatural powers, he became arrogant and could not differentiate between right and wrong. In present times, there are many examples when excessive power or exceptional intelligence or exceptional wealth, exceptional beauty became cause of destruction. So, an exalted retrograde planet should be analyzed carefully. It can act both ways. It can give you extreme success or can cause destruction. Subscribe the channel for informative, well-explained sessions in Vedic astrology. And please don't forget to hit the like button. We know a benefic planet in the birth chart gives favorable results to the person. Now, if a benefic planet becomes retrograde in the birth chart, it will become more strong. Now it is in the position to give more favorable results. Lords of Dusthanas, that is 3 houses, Lord of 6th house, 8th house and 12th house are associated with troubles and challenges in the birth chart. And if any of them is retrograde in the birth chart, it will gain too much power and that can increase the challenges in the life of the person. If in a birth chart, Lagan Lord is in Swarashi in Kendra house or in Trikona house and also retrograde, it will make the Lagna strong and will help the person to achieve success, recognition, fame and glory in life. If Lord of a good house is retrograde in the birth chart and is placed in a good house, it will give favorable results to the person. Mahadasha and Antardasha of a retrograde planet often behaves differently from that of a direct planet. During its Mahadasha and Antardasha, retrograde planet gives pronounced results. It has potential to turn things around. There may be delay, but outcomes are often powerful and transformative. According to ancient Vedic astrology texts, retrograde planet gives results from the house where it is placed. It does not give results from previous house, as is mentioned in many astrology textbooks available in the market. Aspect of a retrograde planet. Aspect rules are same for retrograde planets as for direct planets. Only the quality and intensity of aspect becomes stronger and more internalized. For example, direct Mars has 3 aspects: 4th, 7th and 8th. Retrograde Mars also has 3 aspects: 4th, 7th and 8th. Direct Saturn has 3 aspects: 3rd, 7th and 10th. Retrograde Saturn also has 3 aspects: 3rd, 7th and 10th. As I said, only intensity and depth of aspect changes. For example, if a person has retrograde Saturn in 4th house, then Saturn aspects 10th house, 6th house and 1st house from 4th house. And because Saturn is retrograde, therefore these houses receive strong influence of Saturn in terms of discipline, delay, responsibility and realism. And when success comes in these houses, it will be stable and long-lasting. This retrograde Saturn can make you more focused and wiser in handling relationships, professional responsibilities and competition, and your physical as well as emotional well-being. Now I will share with you some examples to explain what type of results retrograde planets can offer. This is the horoscope of the legendary playback singer Lata Mangeshkar. In this chart, ascendant Taurus, Lagan Lord Venus. We all know 1st house, 5th house and 9th house are known as trine houses. So Venus, Mercury and Saturn are benefic planets for Lagna. We know Mercury is the significator of speech, and Mercury in this chart rules 2nd house of speech and 5th house of creativity and intelligence. In 5th house, Mercury is exalted and also retrograde. As a result, Mercury also gets chestable. This makes Mercury very powerful in this birth chart. Also we know Mercury is the friend of Lagan Lord Venus. This is important point, you should note it. So Mercury, Karka of speech and ruling the house of speech, is exalted in the house of creativity and intelligence, and furthermore it is retrograde, making it unusual and very strong. A direct exalted Mercury in 5th house might create a wonderful singer, but exalted retrograde Mercury in 5th house created a legend. She was also awarded Bharat Ratna in the Dasha of Mercury. This is the birth chart of a famous spiritual leader of 20th century who also got surrounded by controversies. In this birth chart, Lagan Lord Venus, 8th Lord Jupiter. Jupiter is exalted in 3rd house and Jupiter is also retrograde at the same time. So exalted and retrograde Jupiter is very powerful. So Lord of Dusthana is retrograde and powerful in 3rd house and Jupiter is not friendly with Venus. In this birth chart, Mars, Mercury, Moon, Venus and Saturn, 5 planets are placed in 8th house and 8th house is seen for deep secrets, occult knowledge, deep psychological transformation. Such a combination in 8th house forms a sannyas yoga in birth chart. Ketu is in 5th house of the birth chart and Rahu is in 11th house of public networking. All these placements made him a famous and charismatic spiritual leader. He had large number of followers not only in India but also in foreign countries. Jupiter itself is the planet of wisdom, spirituality, knowledge, and 3rd house is seen for courage, communication, creative skills, subconscious mind. 8th house is Adusthana, Jupiter, and Jupiter is exalted and retrograde in 3rd house. So on one hand, Jupiter is in its Uch Rashi and because of retrogression, it has acquired Cheshta Bal, making it highly impactful. Such a powerful Jupiter in 3rd house blessed him with exceptional wisdom and knowledge, but at the same time, it became uncontrollable. So this Jupiter gave him spiritual knowledge, wisdom, and made him unconventional. He broke all social norms and was totally unconventional in his approach towards society and religion. Exalted retrograde Jupiter gave him exceptional talent. But this Jupiter was also responsible for challenges and negative outcomes in its dasha. The results a planet can deliver in a particular house of a horoscope depend not only on its position in the horoscope but also on number of factors like its placement, conjunction with other planets, aspects of other planets, house lord positions, etc. All these need to be studied collectively to draw inferences. First step is to master all fundamental rules. To learn more about Vedic astrology, please watch Vedic Astrology Classes session 132.